Hello, welcome to Her Wild Side Hockey Podcast. I am your host, Mikki, aka Hockey She Wrote, and I am coming at you with episode 23. And I kind of can't believe I've done 23 episodes. I'm excited for any and all of you that listen or watch. Uh, Thank you. Anyway, so this is the morning of the Predators game. It's Thursday. Wild are going to play the Predators tonight. And you know what? We're coming off of a good game against the Capitals. We're on a pretty good run right now. And, I looked back at we have played the Predators one time this season so far. And that was the night, beat them 6-1. That was the night that Dewar got his hat trick. So, and he had a hat trick plus an assist. He had 4 points. I didn't look it up, but I'm assuming that's probably a career high for Dewar, or matching a career high. And I feel like, can Dewar do that again? Wouldn't it be great if he went out there again and scored another hat trick? I think it'd be great. Gustafsson was in net for the first Predators game. He'll also be in net tonight. So Fleury is still out, but this morning at practice, John Hines said that Fleury is day to day and kind of made it sound like he could be back for Saturday. So we'll have to kind of just watch and see how that shakes out. Wallstead is still up here in Minnesota. He's not going to play. They're not going to put him on the ice unless they have to. Because, again, Fleury is going to be back soon. But I think it is cool to let Wallstead just have the experience of being up here. Uh, I I don't remember where I heard this, but I remember hearing that having Wallstead spend time with Fleury and Gustafsson, like in training camp and when they went to Sweden, it was almost kind of an eye opener for him to see exactly how they prepare themselves and how they treat themselves. What they eat, how much they rest, all of that kind of stuff, maybe stretching or, he just seeing what they do, it really kind of helped Wallstead shape more of what he does as a young goalie now. So even just having him sit up here on the bench, I feel like, because it's only this is maybe the third game I think he's been up here. Because it's only kind of a short amount of time, I feel like it is a good experience for him to be at that, still at the NHL level, but just watching and kind of seeing what Gustafsson is doing in the net. So that night, the last Predators game, we also had Marcus Foligno fought Shen. And then, okay, I tried to find, apparently big physical scrums do not make the recap highlight reels because I tried to find this. At the end of the first period, there were like 4 penalties. 2 of them were Kaprizov and Boldy, and then 2 of the Predators players, and they were all for roughing. And so I was trying to find like, okay, I don't remember like what was this scrum, what was going on. Apparently those do not count as part of the highlight reel, which I think is a little disappointing. I did not watch though to see if fighting actually ends up on the highlight reel. I'm assuming maybe not. Who knows? But this was also the game where we had that really great Jake Middleton goal, that backhand up over the goaltender far side. Just that was kind of the start of Midzi is an offensive player now. Like that really kind of kickstarted this nice little career high goals run that he is on. And speaking of that, there are quite a few players who are working on career high years again. And it's kind of amazing that, I mean, this keeps happening. And I know everyone, oh, the Wild aren't good. Oh, they suck. Oh, they're mid. But you know what? Actually, I feel like with the salary cap issues, which we all are very aware of, it's still like developing these players who are not rookies, So I'm talking about like Jake Middleton. I'm talking about Connor Dewar. I'm talking about Brandon Duhaime, where they just keep kind of getting better. Or even Joel Eriksson Ek. He's had kind of like every year a career year. So it's just been nice to watch that. And I did love Middleton did an interview with the great Kevin Gorg, and that was the one where they were promoting the tarps off ticket package, which I would love if any of you got one of those, I would just please post a picture because I just think they're so funny. And I love the idea that I would love to shake the hand of whoever came up with that idea. I feel like I also said that last time, and I don't care. I will say it twice because they deserve 2 handshakes. But in the interview, uh, Kevin Gorg was like, "Hey, well, Middleton, I know, you're on a career year and you're on pace for double-digit goals." And Middleton just kind of laughed and he was like, "Let's just go for number 8." And I love that because he's not changing his game in a way that's bad. Like he's adding to his game, but he is still doing all of the other things that he normally does. So he's not like, "Hey, yeah, I want double digit goals. Let's go for it." He's like, "You know what? If it happens, it happens. I'm doing what I need to do." And he really has been so much fun to watch. When Middleton came and on the ice, off the ice, everyone loves Middleton. And this kind of rolls right into I have started building. That sounds like I've just been doing really intense work. I started building an ultimate guide to Minnesota Wild lore. And this is like I knew it was going to take some time, but this is taking more time than I thought it would. And I think it's because as I'm writing it, I keep remembering things. I went into it just kind of like, oh yeah, we've got Kaprizov with his little teddy bear. We've got the obviously Middleton, tarps off. We've got all that stuff. But it's like just keep remembering things. And so I'm almost to the point where I'm like, do I build a different page for every player and then just link them all like on a main page? Is that too much? And I'm only really deep dive into the Minnesota Wild vibes. So I would love to know if any of you know if other fan bases have this much lore in their team. Is this just a Minnesota State of Hockey thing? I mean, obviously every team has some. Every team has some. But again, eh, the Wild is just it's extensive. So I am toying with going for multiple pages. And the only tough part about this is that I cannot simply work on the lore. I have to also write all of the other stuff. So, but I'm trying to get it out. We'll see. We'll see what I can get done. And then I most of you probably saw on one of my social medias that I had a really exciting day yesterday. I know there are quite a few people out there that wonder about writing about hockey, being a hockey journalist. And I think it's funny because I don't necessarily, I guess this is probably totally imposter syndrome, but I do not really like necessarily think of myself that way. I don't know what I think of myself as. But I got an email saying that I had credentials. And that's the first time this has happened. Now, to be fair, I've only been writing about hockey. Let's see. I started a year ago, actually. And then I didn't really pick up the pace until probably September. So September, October, November, December, I'm in kind of my 5th month of like really hardcore. And my editor for Inside the Rink was like, "Well, do you want to write about the PWHL?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure. Like it's fun. I really want to help promote this league and the team." And so he had put in for credentials and I just kind of like surprise. It was only a couple hours before the game. And so I was just like so nervous. I got there, I got my own press badge and I was just kind of like, "Are you what?" Like again, imposter syndrome, 100%. Everybody has it. Um, but I was, like, shaking, like, as I was trying to figure out how to get up to the press box. Where do I sit? What do I do? I was shaking. And I hope people did not see that because 'cause I'd be like, "What is wrong with this lady? Like, who is she? How did she get credentials?" But I guess I kind of covered it up well because there was another writer who was a couple seats down from me, and it was also her first time. But after the game, she asked me like, "Oh, how do we get down to the press conference?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's my first game." And she was like, "Oh, really? I thought you knew what you were doing." So I put on a very confident face, which is good for me because I feel like I do not have a confident face. So we will see. But yeah, I got to go down into like the bowels of Excel Center for a press conference. I mean, it was so cool. It was a really cool experience. And so, I mean, if other people are out there and you want to be a writer, hockey writer, honestly, the only thing I can tell you is just grab hold of opportunities because that is what's happened for me. I've literally had opportunities dropped in my lap and I have grabbed on and just run with it. Um, yeah. And you know what? That's actually good life advice for anything in general. If you have an opportunity, job wise, going on a trip, joining something, a club, a team, do it. You know, if you actually wholeheartedly wanna do it, grab hold of it and go. You know, you can't sit and, back and forth. Y Sometimes you just have to commit, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but if it does work, it's amazing. And, I mean, I have a whole backstory of, like, throughout my adult life, these kind of opportunities, and I'm not gonna bore you with it right now. But, I mean, for me, it has spanned multiple jobs, career fields, um, yeah, just grab hold of things. Anyway, back to PWHL. Um, I love the vibes of a PWHL game because even though there are less people, I feel like they are can be just as loud as a full rink for the Wild. And I know people are gonna, jump on that and be like, "No, they can't. How can they be the same as like 15,000 people?" Okay, obviously not. But the excitement, it just builds to where you would think there were more people there. And I love that the vibes are so um almost like party like between the puck drops. So like commercial break, everyone's dancing, everyone's singing, having fun, cameras, it's just exciting. Whereas I feel like sometimes at the Wild game, yeah, people have fun there. Obviously, I have fun there. I've told you about that before. But it can feel very like intense, very like intense in like an aggressive way was kind of how I explained it in my recap that was published this morning. And I will link my recap in the show notes if anyone wants to read it. Um, but I don't know, it feels different. And I think it's because there are so many girls hockey teams that come together. And what an amazing experience for them. They come together with their friends. They've all got their like matching jerseys on. And for many of them, it's probably the first time they've seen a professional women's hockey game. And it's such a good experience. Everyone is there because they really want to be there and they really care about women's hockey. The attendance last night was 5,001. And again, I'm sure people would scoff at that. But you have to remember, it was a Wednesday night, like just a random middle of the week Wednesday night. And for people who say that nobody watches women's sports, 5,000 people. I mean, they can only build from there. Now, unfortunately, they did pick up their first regulation loss, which was tough. It was kind of a tough game to watch. They they actually put 42 shots on goal, and the other team's Montreal's goalie was just amazing, like standing on her head. They only managed to get 1 goal. Montreal managed to get 2, so it was a pretty close, tight game. And, again, fun to watch even with a loss. So, and unfortunately, the other thing is that the loss kicked them down in the standings because coming in, Minnesota was number 1 in the standings and Montreal was number 2. But now it's reversed. So, but again, it's only that was the 5th game of the season for Minnesota. There is so many more to go, and I'm excited again just to see it build. I do like that they are allowed to be a little more physical in the PWHL than they have been in other leagues, in other places. Because physicality is a part of hockey. And I'm not going to get into the whole like fights, no fights debate. That's kind of a separate issue, but just physicality needs to be a part of it. It's hard to play hockey without, that other physical element, without pushing somebody off the puck, without, pinning them to the board so that you can get it. I mean, I think it does make it more exciting to watch also. So, um, I will hopefully be going as media for more games. Um, I actually didn't ask because, it felt like one of those, like, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. So, I don't know, but I guess I will just find out. Um, with that being said, we're also working on getting a few, like, single game media passes for me for the Wild, and I would love to see, how that compares to PWHL media. Obviously, I know it's, like, more intense and yeah, it is what it is. Let's see. There's just a few more things that I wanna say before we wrap up. First of all, I have my own merch now, which maybe you have seen, and I'm really excited. And let me tell you, I so the shop has actually been up for a little while, but I wanted to order some of the stuff myself because I didn't want to be like, "Hey, buy these shirts," and then have them be, like, not good quality. But let me tell you, both I got a sweatshirt and I got a t-shirt, and I'll show you I'm actually wearing the t-shirt. So, sorry for anyone who's listening to audio, but I'm gonna stand up and you're gonna see my shirt. And, it says Hot Girl Hockey Club because we're all in the Hot Girl Hockey Club. And we have stuff that says that, which I know not everyone wants to wear that. That's fine. We also just have with my logo and her Wild Side Hockey podcast on there. Um, the t-shirt is really nice and soft. It's long. I always like when it's a little bit longer. The sweatshirt is super comfy cozy. I ordered that like 2 sizes bigger than I normally would because I want it to be just big, like oversized. And it's again so comfy and good quality. So there is one more thing I'm gonna do here, and again, this is not a, audio thing, so you'll have to bear with me, but I will keep talking for anyone who's just listening. We have a new partnership at Inside the Rink with Ticketmaster. So, if you are looking for tickets to anything, not just hockey, this can be concerts or anything that's sold through Ticketmaster, I would love if you would use our link because we are trying to find ways to just help support our shows and support our um writing and just the site in general. So I now have on the screen a slide with a QR code, and that is a way that will take you to with our like affiliate link to Ticketmaster. And this is actually good for 30 days. So if you click into this link and then you purchase tickets within 30 days, it will help support, our show and, all the other shows on the Inside the Rink network. So, we have a couple of other affiliate things. I'm not gonna throw them all at you right now, but I will link other ways to support the show in the show notes because, yeah, we enjoy what we do, and we want to, keep doing it. So anyway, um thank you all for watching my content. I once again, I'm rambling. I should just stop. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for everybody who takes in my content. I'm just really grateful for all the opportunities. So, until next time, hopefully the Predators game goes well tonight. The PWHL plays back to backs on Friday, Saturday on the East Coast, and the Wild also play Saturday. So there are plenty of games coming up. I'm gonna have to make like 2 more episodes for all of those games. So until then, you are all beauties, and everyone is a part of the Hot Girl Hockey Club. See you next time.